11 Plus. We're also streaming on Facebook and YouTube this afternoon. Before we move along and talk about weather, if we do have some significant weather, inclement weather in your area, you can always follow us on THV 11 Plus. Symone Thomas will be in this afternoon to provide you with the forecast, and we may have some warnings develop between now and our newscast tonight. Still waiting on a watch. I anticipate it's a tornado watch. Beginning to see cells develop in south central Arkansas and a line moving through the central part of the state. Before I get to that, you can always download our app and join us there. Hit the watch button for any streaming or severe weather coverage. But if you've got a television and it's a smart TV, or if you have access to Roku, Apple, or Prime, then you can download this free app for your TV at home. And not only will you see us stream weather like this, but there are other programs on THV 11 Plus that may catch your interest. One being Weatherwise with Mr. Nathan Scott. Lots of different things that he talks about, not only just weather, but astronomy and so forth. A lot of other things happening there as well. If you like movies, there's also information about movies. Let's get to weather. Tonight, 5:30, 6 o'clock during our newscasts, you probably will have some warnings, and I think they're going to be firing up in this corridor where we find the most unstable air near a boundary. It's a stationary front right now, and it's been wobbling back and forth. South of that boundary, the air mass is very unstable. And north of the boundary, it's very stable. I think, Perry, you pulled up Max 2 there. Let's go to Max 1. There we go. That's all right. I will talk about the timing of the storms here in just a few minutes. But once again, let's go ahead and move forward. Again, no watches, not yet. I anticipate that we're going to get a watch here sometime very, very soon. The storms are moving to the east. At least the line is developing. Heavy rain within that line. There'll be some flash flooding concerns. And in fact, there's a flash flood warning for some folks in central Arkansas for the rest of the afternoon. But the potential for a tornado or two is also beginning to go up. And I'll discuss that here in a moment. We have a weather impact alert day. And what this means is that we're expecting inclement weather, disruptive weather, severe weather, and this is the way it's going to go until 8 o'clock tonight. And it's primarily for areas south and east of Little Rock. All modes of weather, severe weather, are possible, including some hail, some strong wind gusts, and even a tornado. And in central Arkansas, I think it's going to be flash flooding. Again, we do have some very heavy rain and flooding concerns out there. This is live radar. Let's go ahead and take this full, if you don't mind, Perry, and I'll just kind of show you what's lining up. We've got a batch of very heavy rain and thunder just south of Little Rock right now. That is moving to the northeast, and even further south still, we're beginning to see an area of showers come together toward Cleveland County, Calhoun, and Bradley counties. This is the area of concern ahead of that line developing that will keep an eye out for those individual supercells that could produce a tornado. Now, when we talk about planning and having a plan, make sure that you have a severe weather plan in place, centermost part of your home, lowest level of your home, and it's a good idea to include pillows and blankets just in case you have to dive into this safe spot, all right? Have flashlights ready, make sure things are charged up, your medication, some important papers. Again, all of this is just in case, and you can follow us, THV 11 Plus, the app, THV11.com, and social media. Always a good idea, too, to have a backup like a NOAA weather radio. So the setup this afternoon, if you caught us at about 12:30, talked about this stationary frontal boundary, and you can come back to me if you'd like, Perry. The stationary frontal boundary is really the delineation point between cooler, more stable air to the north and the more humid, unstable air to the south. Notice this is visible satellite. We had a few breaks today. Anytime you have some sunshine and you've got an atmosphere that's already juiced up, it's never a good thing. It's like throwing fuel on the fire. I know that we probably overuse that cliche, but 78 in Pine Bluff, 50 in Little Rock, 47 up in Harrison. So we've got a big difference in temperature. The air mass is stable north of the boundary, and south of this boundary, it's very unstable, and things are beginning to come together. No warnings out there, no watches just yet. I am keeping an eye on the SPC, or the Storms Prediction Center, for that watch, and I think it'll begin here in Arkansas and move over into Mississippi. With that boundary in place, the temperatures, once again, you saw the clouds. Now we're looking at 79 Monticello. It's 334. We still got about a good hour and a half to 2 hours of sunlight. They could top out at 80. And north of that front, 47 in Harrison. It's along the front and south of the front that we've got the biggest problems to be concerned with. The dew points, that's a measure of the moisture content. Drier dew points to the north, a more humid air mass to the south. You got plenty of juice. Dew points are in the 60s, so you have the necessary means. You've got plenty of wind shear. Winds that veer with height and pick up in speed, that's wind shear. Moisture lift, instability, wind shear. You know, that's what you've got to have, and we've got that over the southeastern part of the state today. And as we talk about the energy or the fuel, storm fuel, CAPE, convective available potential energy. It has been here all afternoon. Let me walk you through the timing of it. This is going to take you through 4 o'clock, still over the southeast. 5 o'clock, Camden, El Dorado, Stuttgart, West Memphis. And finally, we begin to see most of the energy for storms move out of the state by 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. Extreme southeast Arkansas may have to deal with a strong storm or two. Severe weather risk, we're still enhanced over the southeastern part of Arkansas, but we still have a threat of a strong thunderstorm. You can hear the rain picking up outside the studios. Jonesboro, Hot Springs, Little Rock, all on a level 1, category 1 out of 5 for a strong thunderstorm this afternoon. A slight risk for some parts of central Arkansas, but it's really the folks in that enhanced risk we're keeping an eye on. That's the better potential for seeing a supercell thunderstorm that could produce a tornado. Here's the threat for you. Winds, of course, upwards of about 80 miles per hour. There's a chance of hail. Maybe not as much of a wind threat and also a tornado threat. And you might be saying, what's that black hatched looking thing? Well, that indicates that there is an area that could receive a strong tornado or two. EF2 and up is considered a strong tornado. That's why I want you to have your plan in place and be ready to go if in fact you get a tornado warning. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. You know, I never wish anything ill on the neighbors. I don't want it here in Arkansas. I'm sure you don't either. But if it were to happen to hold on and develop to the east of the state, would not hurt my feelings whatsoever. So with the severe outlook, let me take you to Storm Track 11 because I do want to show you something real quick. And this is one of the products that we have, and we can jump around on different items from wind to hail to even where we have a radar confirmed tornado. But what I want to show you is what's happening out in front of this main line. And once that line moves through your area, then your severe weather threat is going to diminish. But Pine Bluff, Rison, Star City, it's these cells trying to pop up ahead of that line in the very unstable atmosphere. That's where I think we're going to see those cells develop. And keep an eye, I-40 from Lone Oak, Clarendon over to West Memphis. That too is going to be a prime area for storm development this afternoon ahead and along that boundary. And I remember years ago, having done this for a long time, I was always told and taught that sometimes supercells like to develop along boundaries. We have that boundary right now in southern Arkansas, so that's one thing to keep an eye on. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the storm impacts. You can go back to Max 1, Mr. Perry, and here are the storm impacts for you. In central Arkansas, I think it's mainly heavy rainfall. There's a pretty good threat or risk of having some flash flooding here in Arkansas, in central Arkansas, northern Arkansas. We've got that in the medium category. Damaging winds 60 to 70 low. Minimal on the tornado angle, but it's a little different for southeast Arkansas. Everything is up in that low to medium category, from damaging winds to the possibility of a tornado. Heavy rain is also going to be possible, and we're going to dump a lot of heavy rain in a very short amount of time. Some places have already picked up several inches of rain, as you'll see in just a few minutes, just over the last couple of days, and even going back to the early part of the week this past week. So we've got saturated grounds. It won't take much wind to maybe push over a tree or two. Here are the flood watches and warnings, and until 5:30 today, there's a flash flood warning that's in effect for western Saline, Pulaski, Faulkner, Cleburne up to Independence County. That was issued not long ago, but it's this area of central Arkansas that has the potential of seeing the heaviest rain. Again, I mentioned rain amounts. These are the amounts coming in the last 48 hours. They've already picked up over an inch in Hot Springs, well over 2 inches in Jonesboro. Batesville's rain gauge and temperature stuff is not working right. I know it says 0, but they've had some rain up there. Over an inch over in Stuttgart, over an inch in Clinton. More to come this afternoon and this evening. All right, moving along, live radar once again. This line, it's moving into central Arkansas. We're getting a push from the boundary, and drier air will begin to work in here this evening. Now, until this line moves through southeast Arkansas, the threat is there for severe weather, strong to severe thunderstorms, and those cells are beginning to pop up in places like Cleveland and Lincoln counties, Phillips County in eastern Arkansas. Here in Little Rock right now, we've got moderate rain falling, might even have a rumble or two of thunder. Our air mass is very stable at this point. I'm not expecting much other than some heavy rainfall. Again, I'm going to look real quick, see if the Storms Prediction Center is thinking about putting a watch out. They are not just yet. I mean, that's good news. I'll take it. Let's put you into a 3-hour loop on radar and show you the progression of this line of storms as it has moved through western and west central Arkansas. Again, heavy rain is a possibility here, and we've got a little ways to go. I will say that if you live west of Little Rock, west of Clinton, Mountain Home, west of Arkadelphia, the severe weather threat has ended. Now, we get some questions on Facebook. Got Colby over here that's trying to answer questions the best that she can, and she's getting some folks that are asking, are we going to have this here? I would say that if you live to the east, if you live east of I-30, south of 40, this is the greatest area of concern going forward through the evening hours. So just have your plan in place and be ready to go in case you get one of those warnings tonight. Again, flood alerts, this is what they look like. We've got the flood warnings in effect in the blue areas here in central Arkansas. That is going to last us until 5:30. More heavy rain could occur, and there could be a few more counties. So let's talk about timing of this. And Mr. Perry, if you don't mind, Perry Black's joining us upstairs. Chris Combe is our co-pilot this afternoon. Let's take this full, and I'm going to go through the timing of this area of storms. It's right at 340. So this line is beginning to intensify, expecting to get a little bit stronger as it moves to the east. This is what it's going to look like by 5 o'clock, the eastward progression. And it's the southern end of that, Camden, Pine Bluff, Stuttgart. We're going to keep an eye for the possibility of some wind damage there, maybe a brief tornado. And that line really moves out of Arkansas about 7, 8 o'clock tonight. So I think the threat's going to be over with here in Arkansas by 8. One other thing to keep an eye on the backside of this system, in the cold air in northwest Arkansas, there could be some light wintry precipitation, and it should be over with. And during the day tomorrow, improving conditions with clearing skies from west to east. And then another storm system on the heels of that one coming in here late Monday, Tuesday, into Wednesday that could provide some wintry weather to parts of Arkansas. I just want to get through this severe stuff first. Now let's talk about timing of the storms and when they're going to be out of your neighborhood between now and 3 o'clock. So anywhere west of that line, that first dash line, you're pretty much in the clear. But you're going to have to deal with heavy rain. From now through 7 o'clock, it's areas in south central and northeast Arkansas that have the greatest potential of severe weather. And then 4 to 9 o'clock, extreme eastern and southeastern Arkansas. And oh, by the way, the orange is the enhanced risk. The yellow is the slight risk of severe weather. So we get this weather impact alert to go through 8 o'clock tonight. Much better weather will come about. Symone Thomas is going to have, if we're not interrupted by weather tonight, Symone Thomas will have your forecast coming up tonight. And I get my days confused sometimes because that's just the way it is with me. I'm old, I get confused sometimes. Our newscast tonight is at 6 o'clock. Yes, no, yes, Perry, thank you. On Sunday, it's at 5:30. Yes, all right, so I should get an A for effort on that one. Let me just ask real quick. I'm sure that, Colby, we're getting some questions on Facebook. Go ahead and pop one my way, and I'll try to answer it. And she's not wearing a mic, so bear with me. It's okay.
People are asking, what about Northeast Arkansas?
What about Northeast Arkansas? Okay, well, we'll talk about Northeast Arkansas. Let me go back up to our severe weather graphic. If you're joining us from Northeast Arkansas, thank you so much. I'm sure you're going to be watching the folks in Jonesboro and even over in Memphis for severe weather, but glad to have you along. I want to pull up the risk of severe weather tonight. Just depends on where you live and what you consider Northeast Arkansas. But the severe weather risk at this time is greatest to the south of 40. When you get to the north of 40, where that frontal boundary is right now, I'd say from West Memphis, Stuttgart down to El Dorado, this enhanced risk, this still holds true. You get above 40 going up to Jonesboro. And another way to look at that is to find out about where that boundary is located. It's a stationary front. It's meandering back and forth, but it's lifting very slowly to the north, and it's the definition of a stationary. If it's going north or south in less than 7 miles per hour, then it's pretty much stationary. So there you go. Jonesboro currently 49, with that boundary continuing to push toward the Jonesboro area. Searcy right now looking good. Little Rock at 50, 57 Arkadelphia. It's those areas that are south of that front that have the greatest threat of strong to severe weather tonight. Question, Colby?
Somebody's asking about Monticello and East End.
Monticello.
And East End, yes.
East End, okay. Well, good. Monticello. Yeah, you're probably going to want to pay very close attention to what's happening in your area this evening. It's 3:45 now. That line is going to be closing in on you between 5 and 6:30. And within that line, you could have some strong wind gusts. And you might have to deal with a severe thunderstorm warning at the very least. I'll just say that. It's best to be prepared. East End is just south of Little Rock. I would say right now, East End, we're on that borderline. That front may meander back and forth, but I think our atmosphere is stable enough in central Arkansas to where we won't have to be concerned too much with extreme severe weather. A lot of things would have to happen, but we have just seen a lot of rain today. It's been pouring. It's been one wave after another. That does tend to stabilize things. Another question.
Somebody's asking about wind.
About wind.
Yes.
Wind is still reeling, of course. Folks were over there from the tornado back, and it was March 2 years ago. And wind is one of those places, too, that it's going to have to keep an eye, because I think you're now to the south of that front. So anywhere south of that front, you're going to have to keep a close eye on your surroundings. Make sure that you have your ways to receive severe weather information. And I just want to say this. You got a number of different ways. If we have tornado warnings tonight, we'll break in. And you can use your phone, the phone app, hit Watch Now, and you will see Simone and I will be streaming the severe weather coverage tonight. Or if you have a smart TV, you know what? You can't really take that into the closet, can you? So this is what Ed Buckner used to say, and I agree. Former chief meteorologist Ed Buckner, he'd say, turn that volume all the way up on your television and get to your safe place, whether it's your closet, interior room, an interior bathroom. Always stay away from windows. Take something to cover up your head, okay? Anybody else? Got a few more?
Oh, we have somebody on YouTube. They're asking how these storms can form when it's still cold out. They're wanting to know.
Right. Hey, Chris, if you wouldn't mind, would you bring Colby a microphone? Thank you so much. We'll do that. We'll get Chris Cohn to bring you a microphone. How can storms form? It's just the nature of the atmosphere. Storms can develop in cold air or warm air. I'm not as concerned about the potential for having severe storms that produce tornadoes when you've got a cold, stable air mass that could produce thunderstorms. It's what's happening to the south, that very warm, moist air mass. But one of the things, too, is wind shear. And southern and southeastern Arkansas have the best wind shear. They have the best ingredients overall, the best cape or storm fuel. And I showed this just a few moments ago. And I'm not trying to diminish what's happening to our north, but there's just not the right ingredients there. Let me pull up this storm fuel, the cape. And this follows in line with a lot of the forecast model information we have out there. The CAPE, or Convective Available Potential Energy. This is what you need for those storms to really billow up and produce the damaging wind and the hail. And when you have winds aloft at a certain level coming in and getting involved with those storms as they're growing, they tend to add some spin. You've got low-level winds out of the south. You've got winds aloft out of the west, and that creates that turning motion. And that's why we're concerned about the storms today. Cold. We had thunderstorms last night and early this morning, and it was in the 40s out there. Colby's getting her mic on. She's about ready to go. Thank you for that question. I appreciate that. All right, is it turned on? Do you have Colby yet there, Perry?
Can you hear me?
I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, we got her. Thank you.
Some people are asking about Sheridan and Damascus.
Sheridan, I'd say Damascus, other than some heavy rain, you're good to go. Sheridan, you're Grant County. If we go back to our severe weather risk, Grant County is in that slight risk. You could pick up some strong wind gusts within that line as it moves to the southeast, okay? So stay on your guard this afternoon and this evening until that line passes through you. And everyone else that's, let's say if you know the county you live in, let me just call out your county. Here's who's in the enhanced risk. You've got Monroe County, you've got Arkansas County, Jefferson County, Lincoln, Cleveland, Drew County, Ashley and Chico County in southeast Arkansas, Bradley, Calhoun, Ouachita, a part of Dallas, and also Columbia and Union counties here in southern Arkansas. I don't want to mess this county up. Yeah, it's Monroe County. Goodness gracious. All right, so in these counties right here, east of Stuttgart, they are in the Memphis viewing area. Okay. Another question. It's currently 3:50. We'll wrap this up here at 4.
They want to know how long it's going to last in Little Rock.
All right. Let me go back to, I think we just had an update to our risk. Let me look at this real quick. I think Simone or maybe Nathan jumped in and updated the risk. Let me see here. In Little Rock, the line of storms, let's go to Storm Track 11. That'd be the easiest thing to do. Perry, let me zoom in on Storm Track 11. The storm's moving through Little Rock. You know, we're going to have rain probably for the next hour and a half or so until this moves to the east. There's the flood warning that's in effect from Perrin, Bigelow up to Conway. Little Rock, this is non-severe, and I'm not concerned really about Little Rock. How about that? I think we're good. Unless you have a golf game or something you're going to try to make, I don't think that's, going to happen, but we'll see.
Somebody's asking,
What is the tornado threat for Saline County?
For Saline County.
Saline.
Girl, you're from Arkansas.
My bad.
Saline County. I would say that the tornado threat for Saline County is very low. With the rain really providing a nice, stable environment. Saline County does have a little part of it under the slight risk. I think if we can go back to Max 1, the risk of severe weather, this is going to change in the next couple of hours. Storm Prediction Center is probably going to remove a lot of that. It's just a little sliver of Saline County. I'm not saying that it's totally out of the question, but again, we've been worked over today with lots of rain, heavy rain, and it's stable. The air mass is very cold outside. So I don't really see that happening in Saline County. I'm going to go back up to a radar summary. Hold on just a second. We'll carry this again. Happy to answer questions. Great that Colby's helping us out. We'll do this till 4 o'clock. And I'll tell you what, here in a couple of minutes, I'll do another breakdown. The next news is at 6 o'clock tonight. Thank you, Perry. 6 o'clock. Goodness. And I will, I'm sure that Simone will also have information on the latest threat for severe weather. But right now, I'm still waiting on a watch. And I hope that I wait all night long. I hope it doesn't come to fruition. I'm going to go up one more graphic. There you go. No watches are in effect. Go ahead, Colby.
We just have some more people asking about their cities, or their counties. We have Sherwood, Mariana, Lee County, Bearden, Warren.
Bearden?
Yeah, Bearden.
Bearden, Warren. Bearden and Warren, you're going to be under the gun this evening. So just keep that in mind for the next couple of 3 hours. What were the other places? Lee County in East Arkansas, probably going to have to deal with a strong storm or two. And one other place, what was it?
Mount Vernon. I can't remember.
Mount Vernon, North Central Arkansas. Heavy rain, Mount Vernon. Heavy rain. Okay. All right, let me walk you through once again the impacts this evening. And if you see anybody else that has a question, Colby will provide that for me on YouTube or even on Facebook. I'm happy to do it. That's why I'm here this afternoon, kind of working our way through this weather. Weather impact alert. Whenever we issue these weather impact alerts, it's for weather like we have today. It's for the potential for severe weather, disruptive weather. It could be dense fog. We've had a lot of fog lately, especially when it affects your morning or evening drive. This is different. It's severe weather. It's flash flooding. So up until 8 o'clock tonight for the southeastern half of the state, all modes of severe weather still on the table for southeast Arkansas. For central Arkansas, it's a flood watch that's in effect through this evening, and we have flood warnings going on right now. Once again, live radar shaping up like this, with an area of thunderstorms moving through central Arkansas. And within that line, we're finding some embedded heavy rainfall. Make sure you have your severe weather plan in place. Can't stress this enough. And if you're just joining us on YouTube or Facebook, or even on THV11 Plus, we're going over what you need to know heading into the evening hours as this line begins to come together and the cells that develop out ahead of that line. We'll look at storm track real quick. And still, they're trying to develop, luckily still holding strong there, holding low, I should say, or laying low. Make sure you have your safe place ready to go. It could be a storm shelter, a basement. The innermost part of your home, put as many walls between you and the outside as you possibly can. And within that, pillows, something to put over your head. And this is no joke, a bicycle helmet, something good to put on your head. Grab a pot, a big one of your soup pots or your spaghetti pots to put over your head if you have a tornado warning. It's better to be safe than sorry. One of the things within the criteria tonight was there could be an EF2 or stronger tornado, okay? So that's still there. Hopefully we won't have to worry about it, but it's better to be safe than to be sorry. Follow us on social, THV11 Plus. If you have a smart TV at home or you have access to Prime, Roku, Apple, it's a free download to your TV, but you can also watch us, stream us on the app while you're in your safe place. Okay, do that. Now, visible satellite, we've had some sun this afternoon in southeast Arkansas. This is a stationary front. It's been meandering back and forth from West Memphis, Stuttgart, wind, you're in this. West Memphis, Stuttgart, Pine Bluff, down to Monticello. Temperatures are in the middle to upper 70s. There's a lot of juice out there, a lot of energy for these storms to feed from. So that's one of the reasons why we've got the risk down here. Upper level winds are also going to be conducive for some rotation. As that line moves through, some of that wind aloft will translate to the ground in straight line fashion and could cause some wind damage. Everyone that's north of that front, it's heavy rain. It's the potential for flash flooding. Going to get a lot of rain out of this. The frontal boundary still out to the west of us is going to come through tonight. On the backside of the system, there could be a few snowflakes in northern and north central Arkansas. No warnings right now. That could change, and there's another perspective of the current temperatures and where this boundary is, and dew points. Talk about dry air to the north and that very humid air mass to the south. Anytime you have a dew point in the 60s, you've got the necessary moisture levels for severe weather. All right, so there's where the front is located. Our future storm fuel, when you combine all the elements together, the higher dew point numbers, the moisture, all of it is still pinpointing southeast Arkansas. Let's put it into motion. This is by 5 o'clock tonight. It looks like that Pine Bluff could be in the clear, Camden could be in the clear. 6 o'clock tonight, Stuttgart. We just have to be concerned with Monticello over to McGee. Dumas, you folks will have to deal with the threat until 8 o'clock tonight. Then that system gets out of the way and we should have calmer weather. The risk of severe weather is enhanced over the southeast, and that includes Stuttgart, Pine Bluff, Monticello, Camden. And when we say enhanced, it means that there's just a greater chance for more numerous thunderstorm activity and the possibility of a tornado. You get back in that yellow area, 2 out of 5. Places like Arkadelphia, Whitehall, upwards to near Little Rock, we could still have a strong thunderstorm, although I think that our threat is going to be ending here pretty soon. And in terms of the severe weather outlook and what you can expect, all modes, we talk about modes of severe weather. We're talking damaging wind, hail, and we're also talking about the possibility of a strong tornado. The best concern, or the biggest concern, is going to be over southeast Arkansas for tonight. So that is your threat. The storm impacts look like this, with central Arkansas primarily very heavy rainfall in the medium category. In southeast Arkansas, it's going to be wind as well as a possibility of a tornado. Got about a minute and a half. I'll answer a couple more questions before we send you back to THV Plus. Go ahead.
What's the likelihood of flooding in central Arkansas?
It's happening. We've got a flood warning for a part of central Arkansas, and it's raining heavily outside. We'll probably see a flood warning here in the Little Rock area. I wouldn't be surprised if we put up one going right now, flood warning that's going on right now. Okay, so here it is, flash flood warning. Jackson, Lawrence, Randolph, Independence, Sharp counties. Okay, so that's for north central Arkansas. Okay, but there's a pretty good likelihood here in central Arkansas as well. Okay, less than a minute.
We've just got more cities, Pine Bluff, Hampton, Maumelle, Hensley.
Yeah, Maumelle, I think we're good. Hampton, Pine Bluff. If you live in southeast Arkansas, you're going to have a threat of strong to severe thunderstorms from now until roughly 8 o'clock, okay? So Pine Bluff, we're still kind of under the gun. We got about 20 seconds. Let me tell you that we will, again, break into programming as needed when we get the warnings. The next news is at 6 o'clock. Symone Thomas will be along tonight at 6 o'clock to provide your forecast. Hope to get the storms out of the way here in the next couple of hours. Little Rock will have some heavy rainfall, potential for flash flooding. Thank you for joining us. We will catch you again tonight at 6 o'clock. Stay safe.